But that's why I say come back a little bit. Nobody stops you from holding the mic.
So how would you describe the level of compliance in this local government?
You're not the only one here.
In the last 3 days?
From the reports that I have got, I have also driven ranch is very high.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, you said 21 persons were arrested, and yet
And
5,000 bikes were impounded. And what happened to
You know, some of them will leave their bikes and take off.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Sir.
Good day. My name is Adebimpe Olajiga, reporting for Punch newspaper. Thank you so much for joining us. Good day, my name is Adebimpe Olajiga, reporting for Punch newspaper, the most widely read newspaper in Nigeria. We're presently live here at the task force office here in Lagos, Nigeria. And the Lagos State Task Force is set to crush another set of over 2,000 impounded commercial motorcycle, popularly called Okada. So we are live here at the venue. The crushing hasn't started, but you can see right in front of me we have thousands of motorcycles that has been seized by the Lagos Task Force. Following the ban of motorcycle, which took effect from the 1st of June 2022, and as you can see, a good number of motorcycles, popularly called Okada, has been seized by the Lagos State Task Force, and they are set to be crumbled today. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of motorcycles. Over 2,000 motorcycles are here in the task force office here in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria. Not just at this end, as you can see right in front of us, a wider view.
He said that the first quarter of the year, that was from January down to March, they were able to seize about 5,000 bikes, and some people have been arrested for this sort of court. Those people that are against the law.
The crushing hasn't started, but we urge you to stay tuned on this live, as we'll bring you everything happening here live and direct.
Sorry, sir.
I think I shifted it.
I come to see the...
I just went here, fine.
My brother has the okay, yeah, they do that.
Let's say connect the mic.
So now in front of us we have the Commissioner for Transportation, Lagos State, and he's going to be speaking with us.
All right, go.
Sir, transportation is a big contributor to a 21st century economy state. Now, what's the future plan for Lagos State after eradicating these motorcycles, the first mile, the last mile buses? What are the future plans of Lagos State?
Well, as you know, Lagos State has a population of 22 million. We cater for about 14 million trips every day. And it's important that we bring in mass transportation. And that's why we're investing in rail. We are aware that the blue line, which is from Marina to Okukumaiko, we are first stopping at Mile 2, will be operational by first quarter 2023. And then we have the red line, also from Agbado all the way to Wingbo. That will be operational by first quarter 2023. Apart from that, there's a bus reform going on. So we have our BLT programs. We have 3 BLTs currently running. We have 14 in the strategic transport master plan. It's important that we move people in mass from one point to the other. We can't continue to move people in small numbers, and that's why we're investing in the rail, we're investing in the BLT, we're reforming the bus sector, we are reforming our water transportation. The government has invested in more boats, and most importantly, we're integrating all the various modes of transport so that people can move from one mode to the other seamlessly and then pay with just one ticket. So these are part of the investment that we're putting into transportation to make sure that people can move sustainably from one point to the other.
Okay, these are great plans, but are there maintenance plans for them to sustain them in the state?
Oh, of course, they are, and that's why the private sector has to come in. The government cannot do everything, and what we want is to privatize most of our lines to the private sector, and then with that we develop an SLA, and that would include a maintenance plan. So in regulating, we would ensure that there are certain parameters that they need to meet, just to make sure that the buses are you reflect the buses, you maintain the buses, and then the people of Lagos State get good value for money.
And
No doubt.
What about some of the interior places where these buses cannot get to? Are there plans to ensure that like kekes are made available, or the koropes are made available in each street, so that the impact of this ban on Okada will not really be felt?
So that's why I said we have a bus reform. When you look at the bus system, there are 3 levels of modes in the bus sector. So you have the BLT, which would ply the expressway. You have the blue buses that will go, that will act as feeders, and then you have the first and last mile that will go into the community. So the first and last ones are the ones that are supposed to go into your community, and that's why they're about 10 seaters, 8 to 10 seaters. They will go in and then bring people out. They'll bring them to the expressways so that they can board the feeders as well as the BLT. So there's a hierarchy of system that we're deploying just to make sure that we serve all our communities in Lagos State.
Sir, no doubt, people who drive these commercial motorcycles are very recalcitrant. What are you doing to ensure that they don't come back after some time?
Okay, so there are some good ones, and yesterday we spoke to the union and we asked them to form a cooperative, and so that we can give them first and last mile so that we can employ some of them. Others who do not have skills, we do not want them in Lagos. So that's why you have the enforcement agency working around the clock just to make sure that people who do not need to be in Lagos are not in Lagos. We want people who have something to contribute to come to Lagos, people who have skills, so that we can begin to develop the economic potential of Lagos State. So we don't want anybody just coming into Lagos just because they can pick up Okada or they can sleep under the bridge. So this is going to be a resistance to that.
Does the state government intend to regulate tricycles during the state? Tricycle
Tricycle is also not part of the strategic transport master plan. But we understand the gap that we have in our system. So over time, as we develop our rail system, as we develop the BLC, as we up the numbers of boats, I think tricycles will simply disappear. But how would they disappear? We would incorporate them into the new system that we're developing so that they form cooperatives and they can run the So there's a systematic approach to ensuring that while we get rid of one, we absorb them into another.
So what's your message for Lagosians?
My message for Lagosians is that they should be calm. Lagosians should respect the traffic law. We have provided alternatives to Okada. There's the first and last one. We are putting in more, we're putting more high capacity buses on the road. The government is working around the clock to make sure that our rail system is working. We've increased the number of boats on our waterways, and they should just be calm and move about their daily business calmly. Let's not break the law. Let's not try and be too. Let's not be in a haste to get to where we want to get to, because you never know. It might be you tomorrow. So you climb on an Okada today, and then the next minute you're dead, and you can understand the pain that would leave for the family. And so they should be calm. They should respect the law, and let's together build a livable Lagos State.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So now we just spoke with Mr. Frederick Oladende, the Commissioner for Transportation, and he just listed the plans of the federal government.
And we are building jetties all over the place. About 15 of them are being built as I speak with you. In Badagry, in Liverpool, in Apapa, in Maitu, in Ijede, and so many other places that we are building jetties. So Lagosians will embrace waterways. And by the grace of God, by the end of this year, the blue line and the red line train services will be test run. By the first quarter of next year, Lagosians will have passengers going on those trains.
Sir, I'm more concerned about these guys. 5,000 were initially seen, and now it's about 7,000.
Sorry, please, can you speak out?
Tell us exactly how has it been trying to enforce this Okada ban? Have there been resistance? And how would you see generally? What would you say generally is the atmosphere and response from both the public and the Okada riders who are affected directly?
It's because of the security problem. No. They are coming in. Are you going to say that because there are security problems in Nigeria,
the enforcement so far so good, because it's not something that came into play just on the 1st of June. This enforcement came on the 1st of February 2020, and since then we have been on it. It's just that people believe in violating the law, which I don't think is good enough in a cosmopolitan city like this. But since on the 1st of June, there has been more than 85% compliance. 85% compliance in the sense that we don't see Okadas on the road, on the express any longer. The number has drastically reduced. But I know for sure, and I'm passing this information to them because they are watching us. They might be of the belief that the first 1 week of the enforcement will be thorough. After 1 week, we are going to relax. Anyway, we'll watch and see. But I'm passing this message to them that from next week, we will do more intense enforcement.
Even those areas we cannot get to this week, we are going to extend. You can see that this started on Wednesday. So another phase will start on Monday. These 3 first days of enforcement is just to check the number of compliance. Then the sustainability plan is the next phase, which we are going to enter on Monday.
So what you are saying in essence is that there is no going back?
Everybody knows there is no going back because it's government policy. Government does not make mockery of their decisions. So there is no going back. It's government decision. How we intend to sustain it is by living up to our responsibilities. We are law enforcers. We cannot back out on operation ground because when you're on operation and you back out, you have to be on the offensive. But because it's Okada operation, when we see offensive, it's not as if we are attacking anybody, but we are advancing. We are making them to understand that we are on ground to do our job.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Thank you, sir. So many times you get to see uniform personnel also fly this same bike, and most times you see uniform personnel carrying passengers on the bike. The bikeman uses as a bait for them to also want to engage with other commuters also to want to come back to the road. Is there a policy or a regulation in place right now to address this particular issue?
Since on the 1st of June, it has taken a new dimension, a very thorough dimension, and you will not see any policeman, any uniform personnel, any paramilitary, any military officer using his half-dress uniform to carry passengers. It has been a matter of principle now. You are a police officer, you are a naval officer, you belong to the paramilitary. When you have to use your bike, you must be in uniform. You must be fully kitted. The law does not respect anybody. So if this is the position of the law, we must align ourselves with it. So I'm putting it to you that no policeman, no any uniform officer has been empowered to use mufti dress to operate bike. Everybody must be well dressed before they can operate.
All right, sir. Just before I let you go, sir, there's a question that borders on when it comes to this issue of bikemen and plying the road. We've come to see also when Benjamin Odeyi made this call on. When Benjamin Odeyi made the call, when they said that it's going to be 1st of June, we saw police officers took in action and the police officers started arresting bikes prior to the 1st of June. And like you said, that it was supposed to have been from February. So we want to know if these bikemen that were arrested prior to 1st of June, are they traffic offenders already, and would they also be brought to book?
This particular pronouncement of 1st June does not invalidate that of 1st of February 2020. Is still very much in force. The one that was pronounced on the 1st of February 2020 is still very much in force. And that particular pronouncement banned Okada in all these 6 local governments and all the LCDAs in the 6 local governments. The 6 local governments and the LCDAs, Local Council Development Authorities, and the same policy that affects Okadas affects all the tricycles that are operating in those houses. And at the same time, you understand that Korope was not operating in Lagos until February 2020. It was when they banned Okada, when they banned tricycles, that people started buying Korope. But it was just early this year that we started seeing inflow of tricycles again. And we started seeing inflow of motorcycles in large number. If you travel on the express, you discover that a lot of them are just coming, but this is just the position of the government, and we just need to abide by it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Your
you.
name again?
Your name again?
Chairman Task Force.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. This is still Punch newspaper, the most widely read newspaper in Nigeria, and we're presently live here at the task force office here in Ikeja, Lagos, where over 2,000 motorcycles, popularly called Okada, will be crushed today. As you can see right in front of me, we have a good number of motorcycles packed here waiting to be crushed. We just spoke with the chairman of task force, and he stated that the laws are very clear for Okada operatives And they are not going to back out, as this rule still remains the same. And he also noted that the compliance rate of the Okada operators is high and encouraging, but still yet, they are still going to be on the streets and are going to seize any motorcycle that goes against the new rule. All these motorcycles have been impounded by the Lagos Task Force. I'm going to give you a clearer view. So the chairman of Task Force, Mr. Jajaloye, just stated that they don't intend to retreat because they have noticed that when they retreat, the bike riders advance, and the enforcement of this ban has come to stay, and they will ensure that not a single offender Thank you so much for staying tuned with us. We'll definitely come back once the crushing is about to start. Make sure you turn on your post notification and follow us on all our social media handles for by the second news update. My name is still Adebimpe Olajiga, and this is still Punch newspaper, the most widely read newspaper in Nigeria. Thank you for joining us. Oma, please help me up. Oh, Jesus. Sorry. This space.
Duro now. Bomba.
I'm like, please go. Please shift your monopod. Okay, you are moving forward though. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Govt Déstroys, reporting for Punch newspaper, the most widely read newspaper in Nigeria. And as you can see, we are live here at the task force office. And right in front of us, motorcycles operated called Okadas are being crushed. And this is going to go on for a long time because we have over 2,000 motorcycles here in the compound. You can't stay there. No, not to stay, but let me see.
Alright, thanks for joining us this hour on AN24 TV. This is Tax Force area in Alausa, where we have about 2,000 cycles being crossed.
Oh, they'll chop. Okay, okay. So we're still live here as motorcycles are being crushed, and as you can see, we have many of them, over 1,000, that are still going to be crushed today.
I should find the way in the group. I'm as far as you are. Okay, you're not bad at it. I'm not bad at Gift. One more year.
At this junction, please, for the security of this place, I want to say a big thank you to everybody. Yeah.
So, sir, can you just explain to us why we need to leave at this point?
Why you have to leave?
Leave at this point. Just tell us
For the
reasons.
security of this place now.
Okay. Thank you.
There are some who come around like a journalist and still Okada.
Thank you so much for joining us. At this point, we need to leave this place, and according to them, it's for the security of this particular place. Once we have any other information that we can give you, we will come back. Sorry, sir, can you face me? Thank you. At this junction, we will be signing out. We say thank you for joining us. Make sure you have a nice day. Don't forget to turn on your post notification for by the second news update and follow us on all our social media platforms. My name is Adibimbe Olajiga and this is Punch Newspaper. Thank you for joining.